Further debate? The member for Etobicoke North.
Thank you, Speaker. At the outset, I would like to compliment and salute my colleague from Kitchener Centre for bringing forth this particular motion that once again re-emphasizes and underlines and accentuates the importance of vaccination, not, by the way, merely for children, but also into adult life. As a physician, Speaker, I can tell you that we vaccinate for a whole host of diseases between 0 to 5, diseases which include diphtheria, pertussis, polio, tetanus, Haemophilus influenza B, hepatitis A, hepatitis B, meningitis, and so on. The list goes on. And as has been mentioned, it is perhaps the idea of vaccination, immunization, by the way, particularly, Speaker, in National Immunization Awareness Week, amongst what I'm saying right now, so not a problem. I want to say, first of all, that as has been mentioned, vaccination is perhaps the single most important and efficacious or effective maneuver that's perhaps happened in the history of medicine. I remember, for example, before our government authorized vaccinations for meningitis for 2 million Ontarian children, the presentation that was made here was by a pediatric neurologist from the Hospital for Sick Children, whose own daughter had suffered the consequences, or the sequelae, as we say, of deafness post-meningitis infection. And I remember the extraordinary, compelling presentation he made. He said, the last thing she said to me was, "Daddy, why are you pretending to speak to me?" And I can tell you, Speaker, it was that kind of a personalized story that mobilized the government, and we more or less instantaneously signed into law the fact that children, 2 million strong across Ontario, would be benefiting from meningitis vaccines. There are a number of important points that were made. I want to say this, now this is sort of a little bit bizarre to explain, but this idea of vaccinations are offered at a particular age. They don't cause problems, for example, autism, but because they happen at the same time as other conditions may develop, for example, autism and so on, people in their mind think that there's an association with it or a causality, but that's not true. For example, let's say people think that the measles, mumps, rubella vaccine that is given to children at age 4 or 5, oh, that causes you to go to kindergarten. It doesn't cause you to go to kindergarten, it just happens to happen at approximately the same time. So that's an association and not a causality. And this is where we need to, I think, educate our peers and Ontarians about the science of what is actually going on. And the science tells us that not only should we support these vaccinations, but others included human papillomavirus, hepatitis A, hepatitis B, and so on. So I salute the member from Kitchener Centre.